Hello beautiful people, welcome to today's video. I mostly get the question on professional growth for overseas nurses in Ireland, usually coming from those at home and also those already in Ireland in different divisions. And it's been a battle for overseas nurses, specifically in Ireland, on the field that they should actually dive in. And I think they are not on this alone. Today I have the privilege of hosting an overseas nurse from Nigeria who has actually been in Ireland for over 6 years. Okay, she's actually developed herself professionally, personally, has her own citizenship and all of that. She's actually going to take us through some of the options that are available for us, okay, at least to even give us the hints on how we can even research into our own interest. I hope this video helps you all. Stay tuned. Okay, Yeti, welcome to my channel today.
Hi, Cinda. How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah, thank you for agreeing to do this with me. I really appreciate it. I just want to know a bit about your journey, okay? Just a brief discussion on it. How far have you been in Ireland? What's your growth so far as a nurse in Ireland?
I actually came to Ireland in 2018. Okay. Around this time in 2018, I was a newbie. Typical summer, I was, gagging up in jackets and cold and all that. But long story short, I came into Ireland in 2018 as a staff nurse or an RPN. Like every other nurse, you have to go through the ropes. You have to learn on the job. You have to develop yourself. And you really have to acclimatize to the country, to the system, to your workplace, to your policies, to a whole lot of things. You're meeting up with new set of people, new management principles, new colleagues, and you're finding your footing as well as you go on. I'd say that there were good days, there were not so good days. Like every other person would agree, there were outrightly bad days, but all of those days have added up to who I am today, thanks be to God. And I have developed, and I'm still growing. I haven't even gotten there yet. I'm still on the journey. That's it. I came with RPN, which is diploma from Nigeria, and today, by God's grace, I have my master's in nursing science and the registered nurse 222, which is a level 9 program. And we're still working hard. We're still aspiring. The sky is only the starting point. Yes. That's just the big about it.
So you came in as a registered nurse or registered psychiatric nurse?
Both.
Okay, so you're a nurse.
I came in as a registered nurse. I think back then you would initially come in as an RN. You come in, you do your exams and all that. Then immediately after the exams, once you get your RN pin, you get your decision letter. To go do your adaptation. So after I started working as an RGN, I got a decision letter to go do my adaptation, which I did for 6 weeks in St. James's. And after that, I got my RPN pin.
Wow, that's lovely. And it's a good growth. And then you have your master's in nursing. Okay, let's just delve straight into what today's discussion is all about. I have a lot of nurses, young nurses, people from overseas, asking me lots of times about professional growth for nurses in Ireland. And then when it comes to the nurses already in Ireland, they are kind of confused on the path to take. We have different divisions. We are just going to stick to 3 divisions, like general nurses, midwives, psychiatric nurses, and I know that the other ones can still fall in this. What are some of the options that we have as nurses, like overseas nurses in Ireland, when it comes to professional growth?
Well, I'd say that there are loads of areas that one can actually build upon. Generally, I'd say that wherever anybody is coming from, you have the foundation, which is usually your general nurse, your cert or whatever. That's a very solid foundation. It's a very solid foundation that can be built upon, that a lot can, be built into it and built onto it. So it now depends. Firstly, before I even answer that question, I'd say that whoever is, desiring professional growth and career development should actually do a search, an inward search, to find out what area do they think that they do effortlessly. Because as a general nurse, you're on a broad platform. And where there are loads of areas, the nursing is such a fertile ground, and in nursing we have the nursing administration, you have nursing education, You have the clinical side of nursing, and there are other areas also, unexplored areas, nursing innovation, innovators, a lot of, so it depends on an individual. First thing is you have to find what is your area of interest.
Yeah.
What would you love to do? Do you want to go into management? Do you want to go into the administrative part of nursing? Do you want to go into education? Do you want to remain in the clinical side? So before we even go into the subspecialties, I'd say that's the broad, categories. That's the broad classification. Once you now decide, okay, I'm staying put in the clinical area. I love to see my patients every day. Now, what specialty do you want to go? Oncology, gerontology, hematology. So you want to decide, even in the clinical area, do you want to be a clinical facilitator? Do you want to be a nurse tutor and all that? You have to be able to define that. And if you're going into the nursing academics, what area are you specializing in? Of course, academics is general, but that means you have to put in the work. You have to go for further studies. You have to get your PhD if you really want to, get to the peak.
Yes.
And if it's administration, what aspect of administration? Are you aspiring to do the 9-to-5 part of nursing? Do you want to work in an office and still remain a nurse? Or do you want to, combine managerial and administrative together? So you can do that in and outside the hospital setting perfectly. So it's, it's up to the person to actually decide what area. So having found out, having concluded on what you want to do, I'd say the best now is to tailor your interests, to tailor your efforts into achieving that goal. Where we came from, we had limited options. We had to be a general nurse or a psychiatric nurse or a midwife or a peri-op and all that. Yes, more subspecialties of nursing are opening up now, but they aren't as popular as the general nursing, the midwives, or the But right here where you are in this country, you have loads of opportunities. So if you have settled, if you have answered the question of what area of nursing do I really want to settle in, then you now want to look for, how do I get there? How do I achieve it?
Yes.
Do I have to study? What courses, degree courses or postgraduate courses that I have to do, such that after I finish studying those programs, it will be an open gateway for me to pursue my dream. It will lead me directly. There won't be any need to start moving around in circles or, what I should have achieved in less than 1 year. I'm going about it in about 3 years or 4 years before actually getting to the spot. So that's, for me, what I would really say. I answer the question of what area of nursing do I really want to settle in? And after that, is there any subspecialty that I would really like to focus on? Do I really like this aspect of nursing? And after answering that, then search around what schools are offering what programs. How many, what will it take? What's the cost implication? How many months, how many years do I have to invest in it? And of course, you also want to check for the possibility, the opportunities that are therein. Because you don't just want to study a course that will be redundant or a set that you would, have at the end of the day, and they will tell you, oh, we are still waiting. Make sure that you do all this groundwork first and then launch out. And I can assure you that you will get there in no time.
Tell me a little bit about the nursing specialties. What are some of the things that you can, I know you mentioned a few, nursing education and all of that. What are some of the few courses that you can actually mention out? Like a midwife, for example, as a midwife, what are some of the things that they can actually delve in? Because I'll say that mostly they are the ones that usually reach out. They are kind of confused. Do I do degree in midwifery? Do I do education? So what are some of the options available that people can actually look at?
For midwives, there are loads of options as well. Because even in midwifery, there are subspecialties. One can actually, there is the antenatal part of it, the perinatal, the postnatal, and, all those aspects. I'm sure
the nurse education itself is also equally good.
Midwife educators. There are midwife educators. There's the academic part of it that you can explore. I'm sure that there is the opportunity to be NS, clinical nurse specialists. In midwifery as well.
And when it comes to psychiatric nurses, what are some of the options that you can also kind of enlighten us about?
Now, in psychiatric nursing, for instance, there is acute psychiatry, there is substance abuse, there is psychogeriatric nursing. That if you like that, you can, there are disorders, eating disorder nurses and all that. There are areas that you can actually...
Intellectual disability and all of that.
Yeah, disability, addiction, counseling. It eventually boils down to the person concerned to actually find a niche where they want to, explore, or where they want to settle in, basically. What aspects do you like?
Yeah.
What aspect? For instance, I, as a psychiatric nurse, for instance, I love acute psychiatry. If, for instance, I choose to go into, clinicals, for instance, I would prefer to stick it in acute psychiatry, for instance, and build up on. And there are other CPDs, continuous professional development courses that one can, do to, broaden your knowledge, add to the bag, because you don't know when this will be relevant and when this will be useful. And once you have it, there's no stopping you. You just explore.
And I think most of these CPDs are even available on there. I think RCSI College, they offer all this professional growth, a lot of courses.
They don't take time. They really don't take time. In 3-6 months, you're done.
I know when it comes to general nursing, it's very broad, quite big. But maybe we can just mention a few things that you can look at. If you're the statistical side, anything at all that you have. I can show some few options also on my screen just to help us, because when it comes to nursing or health, it's very broad, okay?
So general nursing in its own, that's a specialty. General acute nursing. Then we talk about some other specific aspects like oncology, hematology. We talk about diabetes nursing. We talk about ENT. We talk about ophthalmic nursing. The perioperative nursing. And there are loads. Nursing education as well. You can actually explore that. Then there is nursing administration and management.
If you're tired of the bedside.
If you're tired of the bedside, you can always explore, because at some point, I got tired of the bedside. And I told myself, I still want to be a nurse, but I would not prefer a 9 to 5. And one way or the other, it worked out, and here we are today. So there are loads of options, and you don't necessarily have to get born out or feel stuck into a particular specialty, or simply because you feel that there are no options. There are myriads of options. There are loads of options that you can really explore. It's just all about finding out what you really love. What you really love. What aspect of nursing that you will do that won't really look like work to you. When it doesn't look like work, you do it effortlessly and you won't even think about it when you're doing it. But when it becomes really boring, when it becomes really tiring, when you begin to ruminate and think about it, then I think it's time to actually, have a rethink and or something else.
Okay, would you say that, yes, we want to grow ourselves, yes, we want to move ahead, but we should look at courses that we can easily get jobs? Would you say that? Or you think that when it comes to Ireland or Europe, definitely there are millions of jobs already?
Well, as much as there are jobs, you want to be mindful too. Remember, part of what I mentioned the other time is that having found what works for you, what area, you also need to explore the possibility of getting a good job, allowing you to function. But as it were, if it's something you really love, I'd say, okay, go on, get the set. Opportunity can come at any time. And once the opportunity comes and you're in the right position, then you harness it and go for it. But at the same time, because of the nature of where we are, that realistically you need to pay the bills and you need something to keep you going on. So yes, as much as the passion is important, you also want to look at, how lucrative, what are the opportunities, what are your chances of actually getting to the peak of your career, to the zenith of your career, and what are your chances of actually getting that self-actualization need fulfilled at the end of the day, because that's what it will boil down to at the end of the day. So what is the potential of getting that self-actualization need fulfilled?
I think one thing I really love about Europe coming here is that there are range of options. And then when it comes to psychiatry, I think from back home, I'll say that it's kind of confined into something like just one, But here you have Alzheimer's, you have gerontology, you have ID, intellectual disability. The options are really great. And then when you are even in the system, maybe you're a general nurse, you yourself, you get to see most of the opportunities around, the ones that are very popular that you could easily look at your passion and see if you definitely get a job, you know, because talking as a psychiatric nurse, I can see that now gerontology is being very much advertised, and then the ID and all of that. So you can see all those options whilst working on the ward, and then you can see if you kind of like it, then, you know, just find yourself somewhere. Yeah. And then I really want to know this. Would you say that it's good for a nurse to look for sponsorship with the hospital that he or she's working with? Or you say that it's better you sponsor yourself based on your own experience? What would you advise?
It depends. If you have the opportunity of being sponsored, why not? If not, why not an essay? I know most sponsorship will come with conditions.
Yeah.
Like if you are working in a place now, they might offer to sponsor you, but they'll tell you you have to be here. Even the HSC will sponsor you on some courses, and they'll tell you after you graduate, you have to be in the HSC for 2 years before you can even think of. Nothing goes for nothing, as they say.
Yeah.
If you have the chance to be sponsored, why not? Harness it. Don't say you're waiting all your life for sponsorship. If you can, if you can actually sponsor yourself, go ahead.
Yeah.
At least sponsoring yourself gives you a level of independence and autonomy.
Yeah.
And decide whatever you choose to do with your set at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's both ways. Now, one doesn't have to hang on to, until someone wakes up to sponsor me, I'm not going to move. Then you're not serious with yourself.
I have a long way to go.
Exactly. You have a long way to go because you will wait for a long time. But if you can sponsor yourself, go ahead and do it. Because at the end of the day, time waits for no man. Yeah. And once you have it, that's it, you have it. So it's both ways. If you have the chance, enjoy sponsorship with the conditions. Because
with the conditions.
You usually come with conditions, definitely. Of course, not heartbreaking, or they won't ask for your head on a platter. It's something that you'll be able to fulfill. And if you feel comfortable with it, go ahead. It takes a bit of pressure off you. But if you don't have sponsorship at the same time, sponsor yourself, because at the end of the day, if you think education is expensive, you don't even want to check out ignorance.
Definitely. I know we've mentioned a few. It's like we actually mentioned RCSI College. What are some of the universities like that we can actually utilize in Ireland?
Well, there are loads of universities. You have Trinity College. We have virtually universities in every county.
Yeah.
Most of the counties in the country have a nursing department. So it depends on wherever you are. And it depends on the availability of the course that you want to study as well. Yeah. Definitely most of the universities who have the Department of Nursing will do general nursing, RPN. Not all the university would afford you the opportunity to go for midwifery, for instance. Yeah. So you have to really search for what area you want to focus on and which of the schools are actually offering it. We have Dublin City University, we have University College, Dublin, we have Trinity College, we have schools in the Midlands.
I think Waterford.
We have Southeastern Technological University. We have
Limerick.
We have universities in Limerick. We have University of Galway. So there are loads of universities that have departments of nursing, schools of nursing in there. So it's all about maybe taking your time to review the schools and check out what they are offering, what matches what you want, and then
online courses.
And online courses, well, depends. Most of those online courses are usually in form of CPDs. They would, But if you really want to do your level 8 or level 9 courses, like your master's, for instance, or you want to do your top-up degree, for instance, there would have to be a measure of engagement with the campus, with the college itself. And you have to attend on-site. It might be blended learning, that you have to do some online and attend college on some days. But either way, it's so designed to meet up with a level of rigor. A level of rigor is usually expected from all of these programs. And it's quite flexible too. And of course, if something is not working for you, you can always contact the faculty to sort it out and arrange something that will suit your needs.
Okay, guys, so just to add up, I know we spoke about the fact that if you want to do like your BSc or something, you have to definitely go to the campus. Like what Mama Yeti is actually talking about is true. When it comes to, for example, University of Setu, it's mostly online, but on Thursdays you have to go there, okay? And I think the price range is about like 3,000 euros. So such options are actually available. And then you also have options in the UK when it comes to BSc nursing, which is really online. So all those options are all available for us. Just as Yeti just said, just look at the options and then try all of them out. Okay, thank you so much. I've actually used lots of your time. Before we end the whole thing, can you just give us an advice, my viewers, all the nurses out there looking to come in and those already in Ireland? What's your sincere advice to them?
Well, my sincere advice, I'd say, is that you can be whatever you want to be in nursing. Now, nursing has given us a wide platform to build upon. Whichever way you want to go or how high you want to go is entirely dependent on you. You can't blame it on the nursing foundation because that's a solid foundation. You can be anything. So don't limit yourself. Don't restrict yourself, really, because opportunities will come at different intervals. And when this opportunity comes, they are looking for the best of the best. And if you have what it takes to get that opportunity, definitely you will get it. Nothing is going to stop you. So put yourself in the right place, harness yourself with the right resources, with the right degrees, so that when that opportunity comes calling, you would be confident. And whoever is setting the criteria, once they see you and they see what you have, you'll be irresistible. They can't say no to you. So work hard, keep believing, pray hard, and there is the aspect of grace as well. So, but at the same time, harness every opportunity that you have and make that hay while the sun is shining. When you can use it, even when it feels inconvenient, just get going, just keep moving, don't stop.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, now let's look at some few options that we have as overseas nurses in Ireland. I hope that all that I've actually displayed has also been of great help, and also all the input from our Mama Yeti has also been of beautiful help to us. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And we actually work together sometimes, and she's also a nurse tutor. Which university do you actually teach?
Well, I work in the Clinical Education Center in Dublin City University. I work in the
Okay, guys, so when she says that the sky is the limit, you understand her, okay?
Oh, it's a starting point.
It's a starting point, so guys, forgive me, it's a starting point. You should actually understand her when she actually says that. Yes, because she herself, she's so good. Working with her has been brilliant, and I've actually learned a lot. Even from her notes, she doesn't know. Sometimes from her notes, I got some few things. When I'm actually working with you on Fanam and all, I'm like, absolutely.
Really?
So you see, you have to keep learning and then be open. Don't limit yourself at all. Thank you so much, sis. I really appreciate it. Guys, remember to like this video and also share. Subscribe if you haven't done that. If you're a new subscriber or come on my channel, you are very much welcome. I appreciate your input. I appreciate your support. Just remember to just hit the subscription and also the like button. See you all soon on my next video. Bye.